One of the questions that we know people are going to ask is why the exhibition Vincent, Clyfford? One of the primary reasons is that the Denver Art Museum is mounting a major special exhibition called Becoming Van Gogh. And we saw this as a really exciting opportunity to explore artist relationships in general and relationships between the two artists. We know that there are some really interesting similarities between these artists. They both grew up in rural environments. They are both largely self-taught artists exploring the world around them.
Clyfford always signed his paintings Clyfford and not Still. He always got rid of a patronym, partly because he had a very tense relationship with his father. Vincent, from very day one, whenever he signed his works, always signed them Vincent and not Van Gogh. So hence the idea Vincent/Clyfford. In order to see the relationship between Clyfford and Vincent, we have to look a bit at the historical circumstances of Vincent's rise to fame. The key development was that in America, by 1934, Irving Stone had published his famous, some would say even notorious, novelistic biography of Vincent called Lust for Life. The following year, in 1935, Alfred H. Barr put on what was the very first blockbuster exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art of 125 works. This really rocketed Vincent to the front of public attention.
We certainly know that Clyfford Still was aware of Vincent van Gogh, not only because of his popularity in the US, but because Clyfford Still gave lectures about Van Gogh to his students in his life as a teacher. And recently, as we've been cataloging Clyfford's vast personal library, as he was such a student of art and art history, we've found books with clippings of Vincent van Gogh works wedged in them, which has been an exciting discovery.
Early on in their lives, both artists were seekers after a kind of elemental spiritual truth. It's well known that Vincent's career was supposed to be that of a preacher. It's less well known that early on in Clyfford Still's life were possible plans for him too to become a preacher. The upshot of this kind of spiritual figure who turns to art is that they both see art as a kind of surrogate religion. And it's that idea of art as a kind of instrument of personal salvation which is a key link wedding Vincent and Clyfford together.
We've got an artist whose working process is not dissimilar from Clyfford Still's because he's thinking visually. No longer necessarily thinking first in subject matter. The point that we want to make is that these guys had incredible intelligence. They had visual IQs which were way beyond the charts of any of us. They thought visually, they understood the world in visual terms, and that's what Van Gogh's doing throughout his entire career. Sure, you can talk about the Expressionism, we can talk about meaning, but when you really get down to it, he was very much involved in materials and techniques just as much as Clyfford Still was.
What I hope people will see is that themes which begin in the 20s and 30s in figurative art, in landscape, in the labourers, the machinery, nature, the sky and so forth, are continued again and again through Still's work of the 1940s and run on in an immensely abstracted form into his late work of the 1970s. I don't want people to see them as kind of illustrations to Vincent van Gogh turned abstract. But on the other hand, I don't think there's much doubt, and I hope the viewers will feel the same way, that in a number of Clyfford's late abstractions in the 40s, 50s and 70s, the recurrent motifs which again parallel ideas found in Van Gogh.